All right, Fight Feed Mix here for HustleBoss.com with Angel Heredia. Angel, first and foremost, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, man. Thank you so much, and appreciate your time, of course, always.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Quick, so first question here. How was camp with Ugas?
It was pretty good. It was very intense. We did. We started in December, so we did 2 months non-stop conditioning, and then we did 1 more month with Salas, where he was focusing more on a boxing strategy and sparring. But we were still doing some other things for him. That was the first time he ever had a strength conditioner. So it was easy at the same time, but then it was hard at the same time too, because there's some exercises that he's never done in his life. So I had to be able to see him first, and if that didn't work out, I had to switch different exercises where we get the same benefits without losing time and trying to learn any drill or anything like that. That's why the last 4 weeks we still work, but we did all the drills like agility drills, coordination drills, and everything, of course, correlated with Salas and the boxing training. So it went pretty good. I know that for a fact that next camp will be even better. As he gets familiar with the strength conditioning and what it's like to be, he's not just running on the mountain. Sure. Or just he'll get better and better. We'll be able to do more things.
Was there anything in particular that you worked on? Considering
yes, we worked on strength, a lot of strength. We did a lot of weightlifting. We did a lot of track workout. We couldn't do that much about swimming because he swims a little bit, not as some of the fighters. But we did a lot of track workout. Like I said, we did a lot of strength conditioning with emphasis on medicine balls, plyometrics, which is it'll help you to increase fast twitch muscle. And we did, like I said, leg workout, core, and neurological coordination exercises.
All right, right on. So I guess in your opinion, what are the the hardest challenges that Porter poses?
Well, Porter, it's a world champion perhaps. That's always going to be on his head on a positive way, because he's going to defend the belt no matter what. And he comes forward as an aggressive fighter, comes in the linear to you, even though he might not be as technical as other fighters, but he's a trouble because in the past, the fights I saw him before, he was very well conditioned. So that faced a challenge for the opponents, because at the later rounds they lose those rounds because the constant pressure from Porter. So I see it a difficult fight. I mean, there's no world championships are easy fights. But Ugas, at the same time, he's been waiting for this fight. Before I started working with him, I knew him. I knew about his past. The Olympic team in Cuba. I used to go to Cuba a lot. I used to do training camps myself in Cuba for months. And I remember, probably we did cross our paths, but the camps are the Olympic camps are so big. But we used to train in the same programs. So I was very excited when he asked me to come and train him for this most important fight. I was very happy, and I think. And I don't say this just because I train him, but he's been waiting for this opportunity. So I don't think he's gonna just let it out like that. He has experience, He's been an Olympic Games medalist. He's been a world champion, so he has experience. It's not like he's gonna, go to a fight and maybe pressure will get on him. No, I don't think that will be a factor. I think it's gonna be a good fight for him, and hopefully we get the belt.
All right. So traditionally, at least I've read that there's strength and conditioning coaches for mixed martial artists. I see that quite often, not as much as boxing. What is it like being a strength and conditioning coach for boxers?
Well, being a strength conditioner, when you go to school for it, you get to learn the body, how the fibers work, how energy paths work. So when you decide to be either a boxing coach, strength conditioner, or you went to football, total different thing. You got to coordinate, you have to elaborate exercises that will be beneficial for the boxer. In other words, it'll be close to their biomechanics. Okay. You cannot just have them do things that a baseball player does when he's a boxer. You understand? So it's I'm very pleased with it. I've already been 8 years in the business, and so far we've done good results, and I'm very happy.
Yeah. All right. Considering this was the first time that Ugas got a strength and conditioning coach, what stuck out about him specifically the most?
Well, the opportunity to be a world champion, because I have a good relationship with Salas, his coach, and I went we were in Kazakhstan in camp with Shumino at the time, and when I got back, I went to Vegas to see Coach Salas for a couple of days, and Ugas was training there. And like I said, I had a relationship with him. You know, I always admired him, and he said, "Angel, when I get a world title shot after this fight, I'm gonna call you." He was already closing camp for his eliminated title fight. Mm-hmm. So I was, you know, we did had a brief conversation. I said, "Whenever you want, let me know." He said, "I never had a strength conditioning. I always, you know, do my thing with boxing, running, and all that." I said, "Listen, you know, I truly believe that you will get benefit of it." And he, you know, he was pretty happy. But I said, "Listen, when I get the shot, I will call you." And first thing he did, he called me. As soon as I finished, I was in Puerto Rico with Felix Verdejo at the time. So as soon as the fight was over, I got the call like maybe 10 days. I didn't even spend Christmas at home or New Year's Eve because, you know, he wanted to start right away. He wanted to focus on strength condition first before going into boxing conditioning. And Salas was at the time in Japan. So he called me and said, "Angel, I want you to focus on the strength conditioning. You know, in other words, kill him. Whatever you're going to do, you know, train him hard. By the time I get back from Japan, we'll be focusing specifically on the sparring and strategies they do on boxing." So, you know, so it was a good camp. Too bad it was in December, but you know, this is not the first time it happened to me. There's many camps I have been in out of home.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But it's always worth it. So that's why this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, seeing these guys fulfill the dreams, and hopefully Saturday will be one of them.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.